remember standing in front of the mirror one day, frustrated. I had been growing my hair out for months. I wanted that flowy, laid-back look that seems to work so effortlessly for some guys, but mine still looked short, flat, and patchy. So I started experimenting, switching up my routine, adjusting my habits, and testing out what actually made a difference. And it's crazy, bro. My hair started growing faster, healthier, and looked amazing. So I wanted to create this video as my guide to obtaining that dream flow look. I found the secret no one really talks about when it comes to hair growth. It's not just about time. You have to guide your hair through the process. It's about what you're doing while your hair is growing. You can't speed up hair like it's muscle or money, but you can create the perfect conditions for it to grow faster, thicker, and healthier. And that's how you skip months of struggle. I learned from experience, and I'm breaking down everything I've learned about growing hair out as quickly as humanly possible, while still looking good through the entire process. For most guys, hair grows about ½ an inch per month. That's just how human biology works. There's no serum or supplement that's going to suddenly double that. But here's where things get interesting. What you can control is how much of that growth you actually keep. Because most guys aren't losing the hair battle due to slow growth, they're losing it because of breakage, dryness, and damage. You might be getting length at the root, but losing it just as fast from the ends. So if you want to grow your hair out quickly, the real secret is retention. Keeping the hair you grow healthy, strong, and intact. That means focusing on strengthening your hair shaft, preventing split ends, and avoiding habits that cause unnecessary damage. Hair doesn't grow from the ends. It actually grows from the root, deep in the scalp, where blood vessels deliver oxygen and nutrients to the follicle. That's what fuels growth. And if that blood flow is weak or sluggish, your hair will grow slower, thinner, and weaker. To make sure your hair is getting enough nutrients to grow as quickly as possible, you can improve circulation to your scalp. And it doesn't take much. Start with scalp massages, just 5 minutes a day using your fingertips in small circles. This stimulates blood flow and wakes up dormant follicles. Even better if you pair it with something like rosemary oil, a natural oil that's been shown to improve circulation and support hair thickness. I of course also recommend boosting blood flow by exercising regularly, staying hydrated, and managing stress, all of which improve your circulation overall, including to your scalp. Making sure your heart rate is elevated at least once a day for 15 minutes or more is a must. It might sound simple, but circulation is one of the most underrated keys to healthy hair growth. If your scalp isn't getting the nutrients it needs, it doesn't matter how good your routine is, growth will stall. Most hair growth products are overhyped, but there are 2 ingredients that actually have real science behind them, and they're not talked about enough. The first is caffeine, not the kind you drink, but shampoos and serums that use caffeine topically. Studies show it can stimulate hair follicles directly, improve blood flow in the scalp, and even increase density over time. It's not magic, but it does give your hair a little extra push. The second is copper peptides. These are powerful because they reduce inflammation in the scalp and support collagen and elastin, the proteins your hair actually relies on to grow stronger. Think of it like giving your scalp the best possible environment for new growth. Now, by no means do you need these to grow your hair out, but if you want to go the extra mile, skip the miracle oils and overpriced influencer brands, and stick with ingredients that are actually backed by research, products where copper peptides or caffeine are the active ingredients are what I recommend. One of the sneakiest things that slows down hair growth isn't genetics or diet, or even how often you wash it, it's heat damage. Most guys don't even realize how much heat they're putting on their hair every single day. Blow dryers on the highest setting, flat irons, hot showers that feel good in the moment but are basically boiling your scalp, all of that takes a toll. Here's the problem, heat doesn't just dry your hair, it actually weakens the structure of each strand. That means your hair becomes brittle, more prone to breakage, and it loses the natural shine that makes long hair look good in the first place. And if your hair is constantly breaking off at the ends, it doesn't matter how fast it's growing from the root, it's never going to get longer. The fix isn't just to swear off heat forever, but to be smart about it. If you're blow drying, please don't blast it on the hottest setting. Medium or even cool air takes a little longer, but it keeps your hair intact. If you can, let your hair air dry most of the way and just use heat for finishing. And when it comes to the shower, turning the temperature down just a notch can make a difference. Your scalp and your hair will thank you. This one change, being mindful of heat, can be the difference between hair that keeps getting stronger as it grows or hair that looks stuck, fried, and weak no matter how long you've been growing it out. Let's talk about that part we all want to avoid, the awkward stage. It's that in-between phase where your hair doesn't quite know what it's doing. It's too long to be short, too short to be long, and somehow manages to look bad from every angle. Most guys hit this point and give up, but don't worry bro, I got you. Here's the truth, the awkward stage doesn't have to be awkward. The real way to avoid it, go get a trim. It doesn't have to be a big chop, it doesn't have to be a fade, but a shape up. Something to clean up the sides, line up the neckline, and give your hair a direction. When you shape your hair as it grows, it looks intentional. It frames your face better and it grows in with structure. Too many guys avoid the barber when growing their hair out, thinking trimming is the enemy. But if you do it right, trimming becomes a tool. Now here's the part most guys mess up. You finally decide to get a trim to avoid the awkward stage, but then you sit in the chair and the barber hits you with, "What are we doing today?" And you fold worse than the 2016 Warriors. You say something vague like, "Just clean it up a bit." And the next thing you know, he takes it all off and you're back to square one. So here's what to actually say when you're growing your hair out. Start with your goal. I'm growing my hair out, so I don't want to lose any length on top. Then ask for a light shape up, something like, can you clean up the neckline around the ears and maybe take a little weight out of the sides so it lays flatter. You can even say, I want it to grow in evenly, but I'm trying to keep the flow. That tells your barber two things. You're in this for the long game, and you're asking for structure, not a complete haircut. If you have a specific style you're working towards, like a middle part, wolf cut, or layer look, definitely show a photo. That gives them a visual to work off of without the risk of miscommunication. I know my barber and almost every barber works better off of a picture rather than what you tell them. There are going to be challenges during the grow out process. That's just how it goes. Your hair doesn't grow out in a perfect, flowy shape. It grows out in waves, stages, and yeah, some awkward phases. Here are a few common roadblocks you'll probably run into. Your sides puff out way more than the top. The back starts growing like crazy, making everything feel unbalanced. Your hair starts curling weirdly, one side flips, the other stays straight, and overall it just doesn't lay right. Trust me bro, don't give up, because here's the truth. These issues are fixable, and here's some tips on how to manage them. Use a lightweight leave-in conditioner or styling cream to smooth bulky sides without weighing your hair down. Try a bit of mousse or curl defining cream if your hair is looking flat or undefined. And if it's getting too poofy, a touch of matte paste will give you more control to style it. No crunch or shine either. At the end of the day, growing your hair out isn't just about patience. It's about intention and learning how to work with your hair instead of against it. Every frustrating phase you go through is just part of the process. Most guys give up and get a haircut before they ever see the final result. But if you stick with the process, you'll get to that stage where your hair flows, frames your face perfectly, and actually starts working with you. And that's when it really pays off. If you're in the awkward stage right now, don't stress. There are ways to work through it, and it gets better way quicker than you think. Drop a comment below and let me know what the hardest part of growing your hair out has been, or what you need help with. I'll be reading and responding to as many as I can. If you want thick hair for life, go check out my full guide and routine I created for you guys. We're all on this path together, and trust me, your dream flow is right around the corner.